sort of really sparse. And yeah, sort of nostalgic. The key of nostalgia. Can you do that? I'll bring you in. So I was lucky enough to go out really close to my gran because my parents went travelling for like a year, and my grandparents had a house sat, and we lived lived by the sea in Wales, and they liked it so much that by the time we got back, they bought a house like 10 metres away on the same block. And this was great for me. It really annoyed my mum, but it was really good for me because I got to spend time with my gran. At 87, she was the bravest explorer I knew. She took me to Timbuktu at the helm of a gold canoe carved from living room upholstery. She was a giant with white perm curls, stitching her smaller than her imagination. She spun hooded alligator slits into the murk of swirling carpet, and my hands clutched the edges of 3 flat gold pillows and felt the Nile. We never got there, we were always attacked by pirates. She nursed me back to health after such skirmishes, with almond fingers and those rectangular biscuits with the cows on, that she kept in the red biscuit tin on the counter. We weren't allowed these types of foods back at home. My gran took great pleasure in offering me chicken, and my mum would bristle up and paint vegetarian in 3-foot red letters above the mahogany fold-out table. My gran's eyebrows were graceful whale's tails that would be sent up over such comments and silently descend, leaving their victims splashing around. This was a translation that skipped generations to land on me, and I would laugh and she'd do a shrug, but with the back of her throat. When she moved out of her last house, we took all her kitchenware into my first, which I shared with 7 other students. And in between playing non-stick saucepan bongos, we rushed from room to room, and I chafed myself on thoughts of the future, and spoken word events and essays and 6-packs and really important things like that. And not really thinking too much about what kind of boats my gran could be building with cheap NHS cushions. I don't have time to go to Timbuktu anymore, or even try. I found that red biscuit tin in the garden with a hole in its side, next to a smashed up toilet that we had cordoned off and named 100 Days of UKIP for last month's election party. After the results came in, it wasn't as funny anymore. It feels a little bit like the Pirates might be winning. They hide in plain sight, wearing skyscrapers like premature neon epitaphs, casting shadows so big they dress a whole world map in funeral blacks. They hide inside me and you when we walk these streets, faces dressed for the apocalypse. I wish I could wear imagination as lightly as my gran did. I'd like to clasp her eyebrows like a talisman and blow them up till they're 100 times the size, and great furry beasts that I can release over Canary Wharf at 7 AM when 1,000 little boys' fingers are stroking mouse pads, gargoyle bull masks infused so closely to faces I'm sure they're very difficult to take off. And the eyebrows would come up, cutting a shadow on each desk like the alien spaceship in Independence Day, and momentarily eyes would flick from Reuters News and digits to 2 massive floating hairy eyebrows, and the last thing they'd hear would be a shrug in the back of a big throat before eyebrows lashed down and bricks shuddered into a sand dune of Mac laptops and Costa coffee cups. Stockbrokers and stock analysts and CEOs mushroomed up and land in nearby trees and spend the day listening to birds. And if they listened very, very carefully, they might just hear my gran's voice saying, "Tonight the sky surprised itself. I've just put my finger on the difference. The entire sky is involved in the colour." Thank you, that's my gran.